Thank you very much, everybody. As most of you, I've visited about 120 homes in the valley, and you know I'm very practical rather than the scientific background. So let's go ahead. What my job basically is you all know that Nature's Valley is surrounded by South African national parks. Partners, Elias at the background, and it's to try to bring this ethics into every home and in every residential property as well. It's not an easy thing. People coming from Joburg have their own ideas and things like that, but we try. And I must be quite honest, we've had a really good willingness from the homeowners that I've met. As I mentioned to you, 2 years ago, I visited about 120 homeowners, really received me very, very well. They are interested in nature and NBT's programs. We then, from the old days, we created the Green Living Guidelines, which we put on fridges for all the homes that we could get into. Also people that got homes, that rent their homes out as well. Got to tell the guys, what do we do when baboons come in? What do we do with our trash? So that should go onto your fridge. We then, with that little guideline, we then expanded onto our booklet, which gave an in-depth view of the little, the different surveys that we did as well. Pet friendliness. What do you do with fences? We try to encourage people that have dogs and cats and stuff like that to be able to subdivide their land, to have more corridors. Not an easy task to do, as you can imagine, as you go along the different areas down the roads. Challenges that I got, where, as I mentioned, is that people have come in and in my 2.5 years here, I've actually seen an increasing of more fences, more lighting, and not easy to be able to convey the message that you're actually part of an integral part of Garden Route National Park. But it is a slow process, and it's building engagement and relationships with people. And this is what I'd like to do. One of my big projects is alien clearing. We started off with sword fern. My background was with ICI and development of herbicide, fungicides, growth regulants and stuff like that. I was the R&D manager, project manager. And so a lot of the herbicide, people get worried about herbicides, especially with sword fern, the project we're using, Forester, safer than salt. So people have these immediate perceptions of herbicides. Come and chat to me. I looked into it in terms of the toxicology of the product. Some products, of course, can't use around water. Be very, very careful. We posted a lot of media pertaining to plants that were on people's gardens and stuff like that. You know, people don't want to take a lot of the trees out. They're pretty. The bottle brush, you know. I heard one of the people saying, well, our dog sleeps underneath the shade and the sunbirds come to visit them. But you know, we've got an amazing man like Rudy Swatcher, forester, tree man, Henry, so good with trees as well. We can replace those trees with indigenous trees, and you can't believe, if you had to look at how many gardens are actually infested with categorized unlawful invasive trees. And we don't want them to spread and take away our indigenous insect life, bird life. Not an easy thing to do, but I encourage it. You know, I think MBT's had a very open door policy. Come and visit us. We'll come and chat to you about what trees we can actually remove and how we can replace them with other things. So in 2023, there were 16 declared invasive species, declared. So it's actually programmated by government in the valley. 30% of properties in Nature's Valley have got these one or two different species on their urban. So then I started with swordfern. To date, I sprayed 20 different urban and controlled, really good control of swordfern. And we've got some of the residents here now that are actually taking, once it doesn't look so great. You know, there's dead swordfern, big patches, in fact, doesn't look so great. And have replaced them with indigenous plants and stuff like that. So there's a way of going. Cat's claw, very invasive in the valley, looks beautiful, big yellow flower. Watch that one. Brazilian pepper, blackwood. So there's quite a few around. I know just recently we had some people that we're trying to get away from having too many fences, and one of them was a herbivore deterrent, buck off. And it's got organic ingredients. There was a social media post. Some people said it's threatening fish and stuff like that. It's not sprayed around any of the rivers and stuff like that. And if you look at that particular laureate, you find it in all your shampoos. So I think be careful of who gives you the information. Do come and speak to me. We've done incredible work here on quite a few properties in Nature's Valley. You can see from the photograph, the bushbuck would be eating it, and the plants coming back very, very nicely. Then you can relax your fences. It does cost something, but then you either got to decide, do you want cages or fences and stuff like that? There's a bit of a balance. But we are having really great success there. The shot-hole borer, I'm not going to get into too much detail because Rudy's a real expert in this, but we've had a collaborative thing with the forest environment and Rudy's expertise and also the willingness. People are now, through Rudy's social media posts, people saying, hey, we got our trees not looking so great. And we visited quite a number of properties in Nature's Valley, and unfortunately this is in the valley. And just last week we went to visit someone, and unfortunately we think there's a correlation. We'll put a bit of a social media post out with the big tree, the oak tree that was at the corner as you enter Nature's Valley. People went and collected it and put it in their gardens. You're transporting the infestation here to there. So we want to look at that and see if there is a correlation. But please, if you have any trees that are not looking great, contact myself or Rudy. We're most willing to come and give you advice and get, the tree fellers to come in and tree fell it, and we will tell you how to dispose of those trees. Started a little bushbuck monitoring program. Research in 2021 to 2023 identified 11 verified individuals. When I came on board, we got the bushbuck monitoring program. Very difficult to see with cell phones, in the markings, just like our fingerprint, the spots, where the spots are, where the lines are. So it's very difficult at this stage with the type of photographs I've received. But as you saw in that research, 2 males, 7 females, and 2 calves. I mean, recently we've seen, I think there was a male on beach 1, so they're around, they're doing very, very well. Bushbeck, we've got Ewan, that's here from Holland. He's doing some really good bushbeck work. He's changed his methodology a little bit. Instead of going by car, he's walking, and we've seen 5 verified different individuals, but I think as the monitoring goes on, we'll get more information. Okay. How do we put this one on, Laura? Sorry? Wait, sorry. I can't see the arrow on my slide. So this was one of the cameras that we set out just outside Nature's Valley. So they are around. This is incredible. Right outside Nature's Valley, as you come into the valley, leopard was quite interesting. With we got a couple of camera traps out now, and then in fact that was at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it came in, and it went out again at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's really getting some good scientific data. In terms of also snare patrol, you see Fiona, she's here with us today, using dogs, trained dogs that actually can distinguish between snaring, blood maybe on the snaring. Fiona, if you're welcome to chat to Fiona while she's here. She's actually now here for a week. Anybody wants to go out, she's going out early in the morning, also looking for stranded turtles. We haven't found any live snares on the valley, which is good in my 2.5 years. On all snares, and we've actually taken them off. We're also involved with crew, custodians of rare endangered wildflowers here. Got a good relationship with them. And this is why you guys come and buy in Nature's Valley. And we're trying to, through my program, to sort of enhance you and tell you, look, you've got the spider orchid right here, Clundercliff. Every year I go up there, and I boast Nature's Valley from where I used to come in the Monash. We used to see one. You get to find 20 in a group. I mean, it's exciting stuff. There's a nudigator that was found in 2018. Hadn't been seen. It was thought to be extinct. We have it in the area. And, of course, the other dinosaurs as well. So we work very closely. And it's to be able to share with residents and guests alike of what treasures we have here in Nature's Valley. Also, we're working very closely with MVRA. The island that you have right at the top as you're going towards the camp actually got residential status. We're trying to move it into with sand parks, which I think is the right way. If we had the late Marcus Euster might be build a hotel out there. We're also trying to get the Phil Martin's Fynbos Reserve, the Forest and Wetlands Reserve upgraded in terms of their status in conservation. And then, of course, also, if you can see the little lines through Nature's Valley with urban that don't have fences, those are natural corridors. That's why we're trying to limit the amount of fences out here. Natural corridors go from the mountain, Garden Route National Park, right onto the beach. Just mentioned a little bit about fences there. Some people are doing really well with where bushbuck and mongoose can get through, and the type aesthetically, we don't want to change the sense of place in Nature's Valley. Lighting, some spotlights, trying to also ensure people don't have those blue spotlights. You can see it four blocks down the road. This is being proven really great. It had really success. The baboon proofing of the bins. There's been trash cans on one side, bags have been ripped open, and the bins have been working very, very well. We're trying to reduce wildlife, trying to get into bins. Worked with communities, really great. Had some good support from the communities on cleanup days, sand parks. I'm also part of the Orkney Rangers thing. Took the whole fence along the dune away from them. We provided sand parks with a baboon, a gun, to deter baboons in the camps. We had a successful multi-sport event for the community. So in 2026, hopefully we can increase our conservancy membership. And it works on a willing member thing. We're not looking at, are you doing this and you've got all these things. It's willingness. And once we have this relationship, that's how we can get in and carry on. Little by little. Again, reduce light in the village. Shotwell Bora we mentioned. I'm hoping to we've done about 130 bins in the village. We've got 400 urban. Hoping to do all that and complete that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.